Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Duality9xers. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We got a great lineup of some very insane, crazy videos that will make you question everything about reality. Believe me. I've seen some of these videos and they make me question everything. But before we get into that, if you guys are new to the space, please smash a like and subscribe. So without further ado, I hope you guys have your beverage in hand. Here's mine. I got a mojito, a nice lemon lime mojito, and with the Twizzler as my straw. So strap in, guys. The ride's about to get pretty bumpy, and I want to get this party started. So without further ado, let's start with the first video. Got what appears to be like a twister. That's a pretty big tornado, guys. That's pretty gruesome. That's ripping apart the countryside like a vacuum cleaner would. Like, oh, look at that. That's just crazy. Now imagine, like, look how close these guys are. Within seconds, this twister could be ripping right apart their entire street. My Twizzler straw doesn't seem to all over my mouth. Alright. Check it out. That's nuts. Yeah, something's off about my straw. Good. So, I love this mojito, guys. But my Twizzler straw, it's off the hook. Amazing. Just not working. Okay. That was our first video. Oh, boy.
If you know what this is, what in the world is this? If you know what this is, please let us know in the comments below and join us to the vast and desolate landscape of the Southern California desert, where an enigmatic discovery on Google Earth has ignited speculation and curiosity. High above the arid terrain, satellite imagery has captured an anomaly that defies conventional explanation. A peculiar formation resembling a portal or gateway, surrounded by a ring of tanks arranged in a seemingly deliberate pattern. The portal, with its distinct circular shape and intricate geometric features, has sparked a flurry of theories and conjectures among online communities and conspiracy theorists alike. Some speculate that it could be an entrance to an underground facility or a clandestine military installation hidden from public view. Adding to the mystery are the tanks positioned around the perimeter of the portal, their purpose and significance shrouded in secrecy. Are they guarding the entrance to a classified facility, or are they part of a larger infrastructure linked to experimental research or testing? While skeptics dismiss the anomaly as a natural geological formation or a glitch in the satellite imagery, others remain convinced that it holds deeper significance, a potential gateway to another dimension or a portal to realms beyond our comprehension. The discovery of the portal in the Southern California desert serves as a reminder of the enduring allure of the unknown and the boundless mysteries that lie waiting to be uncovered. As we peer through the digital lens of Google Earth, we catch a fleeting glimpse of the enigmatic.
I don't know. I'm enjoying my mojito, guys, but my straw's not working.
of National Defense. In an international television news broadcast, former Canadian Minister of National Defense, Paul Hellyer, makes an astonishing statement. He claims to have knowledge that extraterrestrials are visiting Earth.
Why do you say that UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying over our heads?
Well, because I know that they are. And they've been visiting this planet for thousands of years. And there is what is called a federation of these people, and they have rules.
The interview sent shockwaves through the media. Viewers questioned why a high-level official would make such an announcement.
That gave me the dubious distinction of being the first person of cabinet rank in the G8 group of countries who ever said categorically, without reservation, UFOs are real, and you have to accept them as being real.
In an international
Okay. So, guys, this is a significant video, okay? Or shall I say a video of major significance. I don't understand people I'm not sure if people understand the magnitude of what this gentleman was saying, Mr. Hellyer. He's obviously a very known diplomat, of high ranking, a government official, former government official within the Canadian government. This person does not play with their words. Okay, so clearly he has reasons to believe that we are surrounded or live amongst people from other worlds. Okay, some people call them aliens, some people call them extraterrestrials. They come to this planet via portals, UFOs, unidentified phenomena. Look, at the end of the day, there's a lot of debate about this topic, and there's some people that speculate as to whether even these beings exist or if they're just completely fabricated because they make for great Hollywood movies, right? And it keeps people guessing, keeps people in the dark. Is that a ploy? Is that something that the government's trying to do? Who knows? I mean, I'm not in the business to try to understand what the government does and doesn't want to do. But like most people, I do have a strange curiosity as to whether there's a possibility of extraterrestrial life. We're but a speck. The Earth is but a speck in this vast ocean that we call the universe. And within our universe, there are galaxies, there are millions of galaxies all around. There's a universe, there's the multiverse, there's all these different, it's beyond comprehension. And I think I had it in one of my earlier videos, but it kind of showed like how we start, our little planet compared to some of the bigger planets, how many Earths you can actually fit in Pluto and how many Earths you can fit in the sun. Just to kind of give you help you understand the bigness, right? If that's even a word, but to help you understand how large things are in retrospect to one another. Like it takes umpteen number of light years just to be able to travel to some of these planets. So if you want to travel outside of the universe, if you want to travel to a different galaxy, if you want to travel to the nearest potential inhabitable planet that scientists have identified as possible planets that people can live potentially on, it would take so many light years that it wouldn't even be feasible. We don't even know if we have the infrastructure to be able to take us to those great lengths. So is there a possibility that there's more than one creation? Yeah, there's a possibility. 100% there's a possibility. But the question comes down to is whether we or those entities have the necessary resources to be able to travel back and forth between our planets and theirs. That's the $60,000 question that all these people in their lab suits and monkey suits and all these some of the most educated minds in the world are puzzled with, because they haven't been able to break that code. So, and then the other question comes down to is, are there other forms and ways of people potentially, or these beings, to be able to travel using folds and spaces and quantum theory? There's all kinds of like scientific explanations as to things that could potentially happen with interstellar travel, and that goes into a whole different conversation, which we don't have, unfortunately we don't have time to go into more details about. But this was on the History Channel. This guy, they're featuring this. Check them out when you guys get a chance to Google it, because you'll be vastly impressed with some of the things that were said. And it'll definitely, whether you're a believer or a skeptic, it'll definitely make you think twice about what is real and what is not.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
Chantal, you're gonna have to hit it outside.
No, I can't. Stop.
Dumb.
How big that is. So pretty.
Yeah, it was a big spider.
Die.
It was a big spider, but that could have been serious, guys. Like, if you had a driver who wasn't as composed, that could have turned into a really bad accident, driving on the freeway like that. So thank God that nobody got hurt.
And her mom, who had mental problems. Coraline is a true story about a kid in Norway. It begins when Coraline's dad dies, and her mom, who had mental problems, gets worse every day. Coraline goes through a tough time as her mom becomes violent and abusive. Eventually, due to their financial situation, they are forced to move to a new neighborhood. After moving, Coraline discovers a small door behind the wall and tears down the wallpaper, only to find bricks behind it. Her mom gets extremely angry and starts beating Coraline. Unfortunately, Coraline becomes unconscious. An hour later, her mom realizes what she has done and, crying, tells Coraline to open her eyes. To prove she is alive, her mom takes some buttons, sews them onto Coraline's face, and calls for help. Days later, neighbors notice a foul smell and contact the police. The police find Coraline's lifeless body, and her mom is transferred to a mental hospital due to her mental disorders. Coraline is a true story about a kid in Norway.
Wow. So Coraline is also a very popular movie that came out probably in 2006, 2007, I think somewhere around there. I didn't realize that it was based on a true story. That's pretty freaky stuff.
Magic. I can't believe I just realized Snow White is the sequel of Wish. Wait for it. This is crazy. So we know Magnifico is obsessed with beauty. And he's an extremely vain king who practices dark magic. Now check this out. At the end of the movie, we see him getting trapped in a mirror. But wait. In a very short frame, you can see a familiar face. So this means Magnifico eventually becomes the magic mirror from Snow White. It makes even more sense when you realize the magic mirror is circled with zodiac signs. And the same signs are in Magnifico's castle. This is the coolest connection ever. I can't believe I just realized Snow White.
The more Disney movies that I watch, the more weirded out I become, because there's a lot of hidden messages in a lot of these movies, whether good, whether bad. But that's interesting. That's a pretty good, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's pretty interesting. It's an interesting take, for sure. All right.
It took
Seems like we got another one.
It took me years to realize Encanto, Hercules, and Wall-E are connected. We know in the future events of Wall-E, there is no life on planet Earth anymore. And the plant represents the only way to regenerate planet Earth. Now check this out. We also know Bruno from Encanto can predict the future. So he saw what will happen in the future to planet Earth. That's why he has the Wall-E plant in his room. But wait for the best part. Bruno made his debut in Didi and Hercules many years ago. And listen to what he says.
The end is coming! Can't you feel it?
The end is near. It all makes sense. It took me years to realize Encanto.
Is the writing on the wall? No pun intended, guys. That's pretty scary stuff. Kind of like watching The Simpsons, right? Now, anytime anyone watches any Simpsons shows, they're like paying attention. It's almost like one of those cartoons where you feel like you have to have a notepad and a pen and you're writing stuff down as you're watching the show, just in case any nuggets get dropped on you about possible hints into what might come into the future. So that's a real interesting about Encanto. Interesting.
Insane. So AI predicted the outcome of Mike Tyson's and Jake Paul's fight. Let's take a watch. Listen, I can't watch this fight because if Jake Paul actually beats Mike Tyson, I'll cry real man tears. Like, that just can't happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
All right, this is MMA. So, not super accurate. It's pretty good, though.
5 rounds for the undisputed UFC
Jake can't beat him. Please don't do it.
Championship of the world.
Iron Mike Tyson has graced the octagon. Tyson is ready
Can't
to
do
fight.
it. That's exactly
AI simulation.
Oh my god. If this happens, then the internet would go crazy. If it was the other way, though, oh my goodness. The internet would actually implode from itself. You want to talk about like world devastation? Let Jake Paul knock out.
Yeah, you know, there's so many theories about what might happen if these guys actually square off in a circle. Could it actually even happen? That's the question that a lot of people are asking. The thing is, unfortunately, that fight now is going to be delayed. It seems like Mike Tyson there's a few health things kind of going on with Mike Tyson that he's trying to fix. Yeah, I'm hearing a few different things, and I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to speculate. I don't like talking about or speculating about people's health-related issues, like real-life people, if it's not true, right? Unless, and of course, we know exactly the reasoning behind what's going on. There's no point commenting on it, guys. It's not fair. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to anybody. We just hope that Mike is okay and he's doing well. And when he gets better, he should think about whether or not this is actually the right move for him. He's already made an impressive career. He's done a lot in his boxing career. One has to argue, if you're Mike Tyson, do you risk fighting again at his age and run the risk of potentially getting knocked out or beaten? Like, I mean, is that how you want your career to end? And the reason I say that, guys, is like, I get it. Like, he's a fighter. That's what he knows to do. That's his niche. He wants to fight. And how do you tell a guy who that's what he's been doing all his life that he can't fight anymore? But also, it's a little bit of common sense as well, too, right? One also has to understand and come to that realization that they can't perform at the same level that they were accustomed to performing so many years in their past. How do you tell that person that they can't do it? Because it's an insult. They won't take it. They're going to take it negatively, right? Tyson, love him, hate him. He's a legend in sports and sports entertainment. And he is very well respected for his athleticism and for all the accolades he's been able to accumulate over the years throughout his incredible career. And all the other things that he's done, some of which were very controversial and could be looked at quite negatively, and some of it quite positive outside of his career, outside of the ring as well. If I'm Mike Tyson, do I want to risk this? Do I want to risk my legacy? I look at Anderson Silva, one of the pound-for-pound greatest fighters on this planet. Former UFC champion a few times. And getting into the ring with the Paul brothers. Was that really a smart move? Like, I think he just fought Chael Sonnen as well, too, former UFC fighter in like a boxing event last night. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if those are the things that I really want to watch anymore. It doesn't make me feel good to see these guys fight at a very slow pace and not the same level. And it's just not. And again, I don't want to remember them that way. I want to remember them when they were at the height, the pinnacle of their careers. Anyhow, I could talk to you guys all day about this stuff, but not right now. Now's not the time. What do you got here? Guys, this mojito is off the hook. So if you're hearing me crunching and breaking ice with my teeth and I got mint all over my face, so worth it. Okay, what do we got here? We're seeing a lot of this stuff, hey guys? We're seeing a lot of these bizarre anomalies just kind of like float around in the sky. If you guys go back to, I've got a few videos. There was one of our subscribers, Rosie from California. She actually sent me some footage from her doorbell camera, from her cameras outside of her house in California, that shows these weird anomalies just kind of floating by in the night sky. You guys got to see this video. And I'm surprised. I don't know why those videos are so low, like in numbers. Like nobody's watching these videos anymore. I don't know. Maybe I need to step up my game or step up my content. Not sure what's going on, guys. But I'm surprised nobody's commented on those videos. This is homemade video footage of strange anomalies and shapes like what you're looking at right now, floating in the night sky for lengthy periods of time. Now, what on earth were we looking at? What is that? I don't know.
Talk about a time traveler caught on camera. He noticed a man enter the backyard of his property and he called the cops because he thought someone was about to rob him. But strangely enough, it looks like he was looking for something and then ultimately ended up walking into his shed. The homeowner wasn't present because he uses this as an Airbnb.
Watch this, guys.
It's pretty far away. So he proceeds to call the cops and they went ahead and checked the shed and he actually communicated with them using the Ring camera.
Was he not in that shed? No, he was not. There's nobody in there. Both sheds. What the fuck?
This man proceeds to show all of the timestamps from the moment someone was detected to calling the cops to throughout the night. And then something suspicious happens. The next day, someone leaves the shed, but it wasn't the same guy. And this is when the time travel conspiracies start. Someone walks out the shed, looks at his camera, and we get a good look at him. The weird thing is, the guy that walked out the shed looks like the guy that walked in the shed, just a little older. My thing is, I know these cameras glitch a lot and they don't pick up everything, so I don't know if I can entirely believe this, but it is weird that someone walked in and a different person walked out. This man stated he lives 5 hours away from his Airbnb property, and when he goes back, he's gonna put a camera in the shed. So I'll be sure to keep you guys updated if he releases anything, but let me know what you guys think. There's a conspiracy going viral all over TikTok about a time traveler caught on camera. He noticed a man enter the backyard of his property and he called the cops because he thought someone was about to rob him. There's a conspiracy going viral all over TikTok about...
Okay, guys, come on. I made a video about this not too long ago. Just go back into the videos and you'll see it. And it's about potential time traveler. Like, it's crazy. I don't know how to explain it. I know, again, you can't 100% fully trust these cameras because sometimes the timestamps and everything, they get weird, right? I mean, they'll start filming, then all of a sudden they'll like cramp out on you, and then they'll start filming again, and then there's a little bit of a gap there. So anything could have happened within that time period. If you guys watch the full video and have it, I did a feature on this not too long ago. I'll actually put it in the Here, you know, I'll put it on this video here so you guys can see it. But guys, this is the real deal. Somebody came into the shed. The person who went into that shed never came out. Just think about that for a second. This guy that you're looking at right here, he went into that shed and he never ended up coming out. Somebody else came out, kind of looking like him, because I guess the other guy had glasses as well too. But I mean, he had completely different clothes and stuff, and he had white hair and it was a little bit longer. But it almost kind of looked like him. And I think the only reason they're trying to make that comparison between this guy that you're looking at and that other older dude was because they have glasses and maybe there's some similarities in their facial structure. Having said that, it was a completely different guy. Cops came out as well. When this guy went into that shed and never came out, the cops came. They searched that shed. They searched the backyard. They searched all, and they couldn't find any evidence to support that anyone was even inside the shed. Nobody was in there. I think they even took a camera in there and stuff like that. You could see it. There was nothing in there. So where did this dude end up going? So there's theories that it could be a drug house, or not necessarily saying that the owner was involved in these kind of activities, but it's quite possible because I don't think the owner is even on site. Seems like the owner is talking through his doorbell camera with the police, so it's chances are he's remote. But nonetheless, it's possible that there could be users, right, drug paraphernalia users in the area that's realized that the owner's not there, and they're using his shed as a means to be able to facilitate illegal drug sales of drugs and transactions, or maybe just using it as a place to get high. But whatever the case, if that was the case, then wouldn't they have left some of that paraphernalia behind, something to indicate that they were using in the shed or using the shed for illicit purposes of some kind? The cops came out. They couldn't find it. It was clean as a whistle. It was clean as a shed. Nothing in there. So how do you explain that? Is it just a real amazing elaborate hoax, or is there something more to the story? So anyhow, I'll let you guys ponder on that. Love to hear you guys' comments on it, and check out that video. Tell me what you guys think.
She doesn't exist anymore. Gone.
I mean, she's been at universities giving speeches.
There's doubles. We spent $1 billion on clones, man. Okay? Technology. Yeah. That's not Hillary Clinton.
Well, I'll say this. Joe Biden doesn't look like Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, his name is mostly Arthur Roberts. I don't know where I'm going. And I'm asleep now, yeah. Dude, the inauguration was fake. You should know it, Americans. At 12 o'clock noon, it happened at 11:47 for a purpose. You can't give the White House to an actor. And he got 3 cannons in Arlington. Even that was on camera. You didn't click. The confirmation of a commander-in-chief has 4 cannons, 21 shots at 3 seconds interval. You saw in Arlington, nice, huh? 3 cannons, 9 seconds. That's a funeral protocol. That was Joe Biden's funeral. He got shot. His brains flew out on the right side, all the way to the wall on the 17th of January, 2021.
I remember Q saying that Biden wasn't going to get into office and you'd all be saved that day. All right, Pascal Najati, thank you so much. People can find you on Rumble at Natural Swiss. Where else can they find you?
No, Neutral. Neutral.
Oh, I can't read. Neutral Swiss.
I don't know. This Pascal guy, I'm not familiar with him. I'm not sure what he speaks on or speaks of, but he's saying something along the lines that Joe Biden is not really Joe Biden, that Joe Biden is no longer here, and that there's somebody else, another person originally from Australia who goes by a different name. And one of the things he was citing was that for a president, they would have X amount of cannon shots, at 3-second intervals, whereas this one was only like, I think, I can't remember. It was like 3 cannon shots or something at 9-second intervals or something like that. And that's what they normally do for like a funeral procession. So, or to mark a funeral. I don't know, guys. There's a lot of controversy in this world. There's a lot of conspiracies. I'd love to hear you guys' comments. Let's see what else we got
Listen to it and tell me what you think.
residents of this village Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is just read this for a second here. So we got the residents of the village of Nahajir in Azerbaijan have recorded a peculiar occurrence. Numerous questions abound regarding what transpired, yet answers remain elusive. The event has left many speculating whether they inadvertently disturbed something dormant, evoking an air of unease. So guys, is there a possibility that there's something deep inside this mountain that is angry because it was dormant for quite some time and now it's pissed off because something has awakened this giant? Let's see.
The following video was captured by a witness in a village in Azerbaijan. The witness records what looks like some sort of explosion on their mountain, but it's not just the explosion that has everybody's attention, but the sound that's coming from it. It almost sounds like they woke something up. Take a look at this footage, listen to it, and tell me what you think.
From the storage, and when they checked the cameras, they saw this. This guy and his son went to check out his storage unit after the workers said they heard strange noises coming from his unit. The workers thought it was him, so he pulled up footage from his own security camera, and that's when they all saw this.
Yell on top of that mountain, the cascade effects wouldn't be as grand. It would be, not say muted, but it wouldn't be as loud. Right? Coming from like a human making that noise. This noise was grand. This noise almost felt as if
a doll can be seen moving on its own, then falling limp. He believes it's haunted, but what do you think? They heard a noise coming from the storage, and when they checked the cameras, they saw this.
It almost sounded like
this guy
whoever made this noise was like the size of the mountain itself, or a quarter of the mountain size. There's no way that sound could have come from a human. It wouldn't have been able to produce that amount of depth and sound to be able to cascade that same effect. There's just no way. Again, I'd love to hear you guys' comments on that. Okay, that's just crazy here.
There appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt appeared out of nowhere. There was another viral video that was filmed at Avengers Campus using CGI. Now, people believe the video was edited, but this one I feel like could just be the camera angle. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. This video that was filmed at Disneyland has been going viral because there appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt appeared out of nowhere. There was another viral video that was filmed in Avengers Campus using CGI. Now, people believe the video was edited, but this one I feel like could just be the camera angle. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. This video that was filmed at Disneyland has been going viral because there appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt appeared.
I have every reason to believe that item is haunted.
There appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt
There's
appeared
no
out of
way
nowhere. There was another viral video that was filmed in Avengers Campus using CGI. Now, people believe the video was edited, but this one I feel like could just be the camera angle. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. This video that was filmed at Disneyland has been going viral because there appears to be a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? The guy in the red shirt appeared out of nowhere. There was another viral video that was filmed in Avengers Campus using CGI. Now, people believe the video was edited, but this one I feel like could just be the camera angle. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. This video that was filmed at Disneyland has been going viral because there appears to be a
Let's just watch this again one more time. Yeah, so something's weird here because I don't see any shadows of this guy. All of a sudden, this guy just appears out of nowhere. Unless the shadow's kind of more to the right of him, based on the way the angle, like the angle of the sun. I mean, it's possible he was just hidden in that view and all of a sudden he appears out of nowhere. Gosh, this is just mind-blowing stuff, guys. All right. What else we got? This guy just appears out of nowhere. That's just insane, guys.
Disturbing facts about Slipknot. The band's official scent is camel dung. Clown kept a decomposing crow in a jar to hug. During one show, he gave it to the crowd. They ate the dead bird. Their fans are known as maggots. In 2003, two young killers blamed the lyrics of Disaster Piece for their crime. In 2006, the lyrics of Surfacing were found at the site of a grave robbery. Paul Gray, the pig, died of an accidental overdose of fentanyl and morphine in 2010. His doctor, Daniel Baldy, was charged with involuntary manslaughter in 2012 relating to Gray's death, as well as the deaths of at least 7 others. Mick loves cats. Did you know these?
Wow. The doctor looks like he's a fan of the group as well, too. Okay.
Live. When prepared, this drink is known as one of the most difficult drinks to swallow. Originating from Japan, it's called the live fish drink. A single cup of this contains up to 200 small fish, and every one of them has to be alive. When preparing the drink, special care is taken in selecting the fish, often opting for freshly caught young shirōuo or silverfish. This is because the Japanese believe that at this stage, the fish's body isn't fully developed, reducing the risk of bacteria. Using a tall glass is customary not only for ceremonial reasons, but also to restrict the fish's movement, while also allowing for the silverfish to be visible. According to tradition, when the live fish drink enters the mouth, the customer must still feel the fish thumping in the mouth, providing not just a unique taste, but also an exciting sensory experience. After holding it a bit in your mouth, it is meant to be swallowed directly as it is. It costs around $60 per cup. The question is, would you drink one?
I'm having a tough time just trying to take back the mint in this drink. And we're talking about people who are swallowing gorges of live fish in their drink. Nope, not for me, guys. Definitely not for me. But if you guys have tried it, I'd love to hear your comments. I think we're almost... Oh, check this out.
And the more mass, the more gravity.
Mile equals 63,360 inches. So the number mile equals 63,360 inches. So the number of years that it will take for the Earth to move 1 mile is 105,600 years. So that in order for the Earth to reach where we are at 93 million miles, it would take 9,820,800,000,000 years for the Earth to get here. Likewise, Mars, at 147 million miles away from the sun, it would take 15,780,480,000,000 years for Mars to get where it was. So at a given point, Mars was here in the Goldilocks zone. And now Venus is going to inherit the Goldilocks zone next. The sun will give... Mercury is under a higher pressure because they're still under the mistake thinking that there's a void in space. So they forget that Mercury is under the highest pressure possible. So it can expand. It's like hydrogen. It's like those octaves before hydrogen. So the atmosphere, the iron isn't able to release any oxygen and the oxides, but when you get to 67 million miles away from the sun, the pressure is a little less, but it's still so much higher than the pressure on Earth. It's like going deep into the very belly of the Earth. That pressure is so very high. And so now the clouds, there's a great deal of sulfur, there's a great deal of ammonia and all of those things in it. But once Earth moves to where Mars is, Venus is going to slowly move and will be right here. You know, in maybe 5 or 6 trillion years, Venus will be right here, and humanoids will appear again and unwind the same way. And that asteroid belt that we have right now between Mars and Jupiter, that used to be a planet. And I believe that they had humanoids that developed on there, the same way that everything, that's the periodic table. They call it the periodic table because these things happen according to periodicity. They happen under regular events. You change the motion and pressure conditions, the crystallization changes. We call it a different element, but it's the same substance. Like my hand is one substance, but if I do it like this and do it like this and do it like this, it looks like a whole different thing. And they can call it a different element, but it's the same element under different motion and pressure conditions. I believe that Sheeraz used to be a planet when it was here, and the humanoids on there didn't recognize that we don't have a solid core. Everything expands as a sphere, and no sphere in our universe, no bubble has a solid core. We're perceiving it as a solid core, but there's not a solid core there. There's just a bubble. And at CERN, that Hadron Collider, that particle accelerator, I believe they did the same thing, and they popped their planet.
It's really hard.
It became that. It's supposed to, but look at take a balloon. Another thing that kills gravity. Gravity is supposed to be the greater the mass is the greater the attractor. You take a balloon, you rub it on your leg, you put it over the ground. Watch the dust particles jump off the ground, off this big mass called the Earth, and jump onto that balloon. Because why? Electricity is 137 times stronger than the pull of gravity or the effects of the so-called gravity. It's the electric force that's the attractive force. It's the electric force that tightens everything together as the masculine, and then the dividing force is the radiative force, the magnetic field. It ablates and pushes everything out, and then they collect together again. But where these things meet, at the proper angles of incidence, like the Birkeland currents talked about, those plasma currents talked about, those angles of incidence is at 120 degrees when it converts it back into electricity, and it will keep collecting and coming and making life. The planet isn't a dead thing. It didn't just happen to come together. That's just the process by which it was given.
I feel terrible. I'm like a second back on my mojito here. What's going on with my video? Absolutely incredible stuff. There's a lot about the universe. There's a lot about our planets that we don't know. And there is a lot of scientific explanation to kind of help us understand and unravel the many mysteries that surround gravity and surround our universe. So I love those kind of videos.
Here is a follow-up on this Antarctica anomaly. That's not the only thing going on. We also have a significant event going on the west coast of South America. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But again, this is the anomaly here that came off of Antarctica. There's a theory that an iceberg may have released off the bottom of the ocean on this part of Antarctica and rose up to the sea surface, causing these anomalies to be picked up by Ventu Sky. Now again, we can follow this thing all the way up into the Atlantic Ocean over the next 4 to 5 days. It's very, very weird. You can see it right here 83.7 feet. And we'll come back to this, but look at what's going on in South America. And I want you to look at this here. This is our National Data Buoy Center. This measures tsunami buoys, big waves, earthquakes, things like that, and it shows us what's going on with our buoys. If we click this one right here, you can see the information is showing that just overnight last night into the morning of the 11th, this buoy dropped over 2,000 meters, almost as if it snapped off the buoy and the sensor dropped to the seafloor. But keep in mind, this is right off the coast of South America. And if we go ahead and look at the wave height for this area, obviously we have the anomaly coming off Antarctica, but then over here, there's not much going on where this buoy went off. In fact, it's about right in this area here. We do have a little bit of upper waves here, 10.5 feet, nothing to be scared over. But what caused that buoy to drop out of nowhere over 2,000 meters? That's another thing I don't think I've ever seen before. I'm always checking out these buoys. Every hurricane, every earthquake, I come right here to check them. And now this one is the one right here, right where we just checked the wave heights, which is about 10.5 feet, a drop of over 2,000 meters. That's insane. That's almost a complete fail of the buoy. I'm surprised it's even in event mode and not taken offline completely. But there is some weird stuff going on in the South Pacific and the South Atlantic Oceans right now. Both are very close to the continent of Antarctica. And I gotta say, this is just something I've never seen before. This mass moving off of the coast of Antarctica, possibly a big iceberg. And this is the forecast of waves that are going to be caused by it. If there is any truth to this, this is something to keep an eye on. I think it's something that's interesting regardless of whether it actually takes place or not, because we're looking at the 15th, 16th, and 17th here, and we can't even forecast weather that far ahead of time. So to see these waves in the Atlantic like this probably won't happen exactly like this, but the fact that it's being picked up and the fact that it was seen by this website right here, this dense anomaly that definitely came off the coast of Antarctica. All right, my friends, what is going on? And just to verify, the only earthquakes that have taken place within this area near Argentina was a 4.3 earlier today. Nothing even close enough to cause a buoy to drop nearly 2,000 meters. All right, my friends, I appreciate you all. Keep an eye on the X channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
So I wonder what caused this buoy to just drop.
Okay,
Like,
it's
just
well, it gets around for miles. No, yeah.
All right.
Okay, it's well, it gets around for miles. No, yeah, aerial mode, so we flew in.
Wow.
In 2002, and you were called into a very remote section of Afghanistan because a patrol had basically gone missing.
Exactly.
Okay, it's well, it gets around for miles. No, yeah, aerial mode, so we flew in. To about 4 kilometers. We're hiking to the same area where they were supposed to make one of their checkpoints, you know, one of the relic. And before we left, there was all kinds of what happened with the ambush. But that was even odd because at point of ambush, you need to call from any close air support, something, okay? There was no calls made, you just off the grid. So we're coming down a mountainside, and it was a nice path, built path. As we bent around this corner, you could see this opening of the cave. There's a cave. That's what's coming around. And then I see there's a lot of rocks, which is another oddity, and then bone matter. I'm not close enough to identify what kind of bones, but I did see something I knew was a piece of our communications equipment. So instantly, we're thinking ambush, maybe animal, you know, it could be anything. And there was enough room in front of this cave, but it had a sheer drop-off. But there was enough room that we actually got into a decent dispersal in case of ambush. You see something coming out of the cave, and it's moving with a speed and agility that catches you off guard.
Everybody. And he comes out. It was a man at least 12 to 15 feet high. This is a monster. Red beard, then his hair was long past the shoulder, a scarlet red, and Dan runs at him and starts shooting, which broke all of us into the reality. As it was
so now your training is kicking.
Oh yeah, okay. Muscle memory, complete muscle memory. While Dan is moving at him, another bro of mine's laying down fire, and I start firing. He skewers Dave. He's now got him on this pike. It went 2. And he's still got him, and he's coming after more. We all just clicked in. I don't know what it was,
But I remember we're all like, shoot him in the face, shoot him in the face. And all weapons components were in force. We had 308s, and we had Sarah's distance. This is sounding longer than it took. We're talking 30 seconds. Dead. Okay. And why is a good man, probably one of the best men I know, now dead. Before I'd left, they were already starting what they call a 9-line, which is a medevac request. They're sending out a medevac request, then all of a sudden it's not a medevac request. All of a sudden we had a helicopter show up because, like I told you, it was a large precipice and a sheer drop. So the helicopter just came up from the drop. They had dropped netting, which is like cargo netting. It's like squares. We were told we had to bundle him up. Can we get another bigger helicopter? But it's almost like a Jolly Green Giant used to look back in the day that could get, you know, through this area. Because the mountains, you gotta remember, Chinooks could only go in certain places because they had enough lift. And so we got him on there. The thing was too big. We couldn't move it. It smelled worse than a skunk. A corpse that's been around for a while.
Really fell.
Oh, it was like a combination because of the, how do you put that, the persistence of a skunk smell. But once the helicopter came in, dropped its little hook, and off he goes. The communication was sent out that we had a very large possible human creature.
There you are in the hills of Afghanistan. How many troop members are you with?
We had 6 on my crew. When we say hills of Afghanistan, for us, we did not fly into the wilderness. We actually flew into a base. I guess this thing was transloaded out of the mountains by a CH-47. What I could see that it did have its 6 fingers. I remember taking my foot up and placing it up next to its foot, and it was extremely large. We estimated at about 12 feet, give or take. What I can tell you is the weight of the thing. Basically, it was approximately 1,500 pounds while it was getting on the aircraft. Now, if you take away the pallet weight and all the rigging that we had to hold this thing down, we figured as around 1,100 pounds.
Of course we're upset. That's a given. Okay. We lost a very good guy. But add to that, you're discussing something that even in our after action report, they're saying rewrite it. And we had to rewrite it the way they wanted.
How many fingers?
6. Oh, six toes.
6 toes.
And the nails were weird because if you see somebody that ever has, I don't know what it's called, but
like a fungus on
their nails, how they get pointy and they're like gnarly. That's what they look like.
Now, family, before
in 2002, you were called into a very remote section of Afghanistan because a patrol had basically gone missing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, it's around
for miles.
Like very remote. Yeah, very remote. So we flew in. They're about 4 kilometers.
Guys, there's a lot of stories of these. Guys, here, let me just pause this here for a second. So there's a lot of stories about these giant like human-like creatures that have very similar features to us, but maybe a few odd differences. And in this case, there was a creature that was between 12 to 15 feet. They're guesstimating more around the 12 feet range and about 1,100 pounds. That's quite a bit of size. And it didn't look like this creature was obese. That was just the size for a creature that with that height. Very interesting. And it actually ended up killing one of their men, one of these soldiers' men. But then they were able to actually neutralize this particular entity and then shift it off to base. What they did with it, no one knows. I don't know. But definitely something worth looking into, but very exciting to say the least. All right, guys. Well, I finished my mojito. We finished our videos. I want to thank you guys for staying till the end. Again, if you guys are new to the space, please smash the like and subscribe, comment. It helps us a lot. It helps us grow. And for that, we can't thank you enough. We're super grateful. I also want to take this time to thank all of you guys for honestly for supporting us, for being there for us, and please continue to share and like and comment. It makes us happy when we get a chance to read those comments. And when you comment, if you can put like maybe just kind of the city or the country where you're from, we'll do our best to kind of give you guys a shout out as well. So I want to thank you guys. In the meantime and in between time, until the next time we meet, I hope you guys take the time to enjoy with your families, or just to do the things that you want to do, and be kind to one another. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Hopefully there's beautiful weather for a lot of you guys, because sometimes I say that I get myself in a little bit of trouble, and then somebody will message and say, I had the craziest and worst day of ever. It was rainy and windy and blah, blah, blah. But wherever you guys are, I hope you guys are doing well, and that's the most important thing. So continue to support, guys. I look forward to catching you guys on the next one. Thank you.